3, 2, 1, go.
I guess the most hurtful thing anyone has ever told me was from someone who I thought I knew, even in real life. They told me that I wasn't good enough as an artist, actually.
They've told me like things about my face, specifically my mouth, my teeth, which is my most insecure part of myself.
A close friend of mine, or who I thought was a close friend of mine, was body shaming me behind my back and even took a photo without my consent and wrote the word baboy on top, or in English, pig.
Last year, I got sent a list of like reasons why this person doesn't like me. Like literal a list. It was a 20-item list.
They told me that I looked ugly, and yes, that hurt me a lot.
I was a beginner writer, and my stories are kind of very childish, and yung structuring is not that good. So I got like really lots of kind of mean comments about how bad it was. So yeah, I think that's it.
In the ever-evolving landscape of technology, one adjustment stands as the linchpin to the ontology of communication. It's a transformative force that has propelled traditional modes of connection to an entirely new realm. Enter the world of social media. From the smallest clique of trend enthusiasts to the expansive landscape of businesses, this access has become the heartbeat of interconnected society. It has two distinctive sectors: the influencers, those who wield the power to shape opinions, and the consumers, those who navigate the currents of curated content. In the world of art in social media, art influencers, armed with the ability to shape perceptions and preferences, hold sway over the vast audience of consumers. Yet, this influence comes at a price. A hefty burden of judgment and criticism emanating from the critics of unseen consumers who are shielded behind screens. We at Behind the Canvas aim to uncover the false realities social media has created, starting with Luisa Kagalingan, a 22-year-old production designer, costume designer, and artist. She catapulted her social media career on TikTok, in which she amassed over 14,000 followers and over 900,000 views. Best known for her art production content in school, she became experienced in being an influencer and a consumer.
My name's Luisa Kagalingan. I'm a freelance production designer. I'm 22, and what I'm doing now is that I freelance and I do set design, scenic design. Yeah. I started out my TikTok and social media to really just document what I do in school, and then it kind of took a life of its own. And then I realized I like sharing information about production design and set design, and I like talking to people that I wouldn't have talked to, and just explain what production design is and why it's so important in live events, in theater, and in film. I can say that using social media has altered my way in marketing myself, especially in this world, because as a production design major, it's mostly gig to gig. So having a social media following has helped me land gigs that I wouldn't have landed if they didn't find me organically online. Income, it's a really big, it impacts me a lot, because right now I graduated last July 23, last year, and I'm no longer my parents' scholar, so I pay for myself. I don't live by myself yet, but income is really a big aspect on my career. When you get to, it's addicting, you know, the high of receiving positive attention, that you just want to keep receiving it. So it messes you up, and there's just a time where you really have to take a step back, touch some grass, you know, and realize that you're just so much more than your social media presence, and that you can grow without other people's validation. So I struggle with that until now, but then I'm getting the hang of it.
Francesca Sabaza, an 18-year-old singer, songwriter, and aspiring music production major, launched her social media career on TikTok. She reached a staggering 133,700 followers with over 3.2 million likes. Having an immense aura of support from her viewers, she has witnessed the obstacle of content creation.
I'm Francesca Balanza, and I am 18 years old, and I am a musician. Essentially, I'm an independent music and artist, so I dabble in a lot of songwriting and creating songs on my own. And for my genre, I would say that it's sort of indie pop, bedroom pop. So yeah, I'd say that social media is a strong factor as to how I get my audience. I essentially started in TikTok, which actually became the reason as to why it became such a huge passion for me now. And it was just like a random moment of me just like posting TikToks for fun, and then suddenly I was heartbroken, and then I was like, let's make a song. So I made a song and I put it out, and then it got views, and I was like, oh my god, songwriting. And then yeah, that's how it kind of happened. And I'd say that it really just stemmed from social media and TikTok. Yeah, especially for artists, it's kind of hard to promote what you do online without having social media, of course. So essentially, being able to put yourself out there as an artist and being promoted out there through social media is one of the factors as to how you could be introduced to other people, to a whole new community, to a whole other community out there. So I'd say that without social media, I'd probably just be a regular student right now. I'd say that essentially without social media, without being able to be exposed to different other artists who kind of influenced what type of genre I'm doing right now, it plays a huge factor, especially in social media, because without it, I wouldn't be able to find my inspirations and certain ideas that actually made me more interested to the idea of songwriting. So I'd say that without social media, I wouldn't be who I am right now without it, actually. But I think that in terms of finance and budgeting, I'd say that it's kind of hard, especially for other people also to promote. It's hard to get, if I'm being frank, there's not much money that you can get from music. It's insanely hard to get people to listen to you, to get people to, listen to your songs, and you get a lot of income from it. I think that the biggest enemy for everyone in general is having this like kind of comparison to other people. And I think that's kind of the hardest thing you have to encounter, especially if you're going to be an artist and if you're going to put yourself out there in the internet. There are going to be a lot of bashers and not everyone will love what you do. But I think that it's not a good reason for you to stop doing what you love and what you're passionate about. And it's really more about believing in what you can do and what you can offer and what you can help with other people with what you already have. And I think that social media should be more of a healthier space for everybody, though that's kind of hard to maintain at the moment. But it takes a lot of effort and a lot of practice to even get an audience at first. So it's really just all about being matyaga and just believing in yourself and what you can do. So yeah.
With the high rise of social media, various impacts, positive or negative, surge from its upbringing. However, we often find ourselves confused with distinguishing which end of the stick negatively affects us. Are our enemies ourselves or the general public? And if they are, do these supposed enemies need to benefit us for the experience to be worthwhile?
Mostly having this following online, it has benefited me because people have found me nga. And then since it benefits me, it also benefits my friends and it benefits people who know me too, because we're just pulling each other up and dragging each other to different gigs. So that's how it benefited me. How it doesn't benefit me is I get so much anxiety when I post because it started my TikTok just for fun, just for documentation. And I didn't care about the likes or the views at first, but then now I try not to, but then it does like affect me negatively, mentally. I get anxious when I don't get enough likes that I feel like I deserve, or I don't get enough views, like past videos. Like, what am I doing wrong? So yeah, there's definitely pros and cons, but I think the pros right now outweigh my cons. On social media, it affects artists because one wrong move, one wrong post, and your career's over. Especially that production design, live events, theater is such a small world in the Philippines. I make my posts, and then I send it to my board of directors. I send it to my friends. It's like, did I say anything problematic here? Well, I got canceled here. So, and then they view it, and then they tell me go post it, or no, delete this part. This is kind of off, bro. Like, it's not. You just really have to be sensitive with the times and always read the room. Can't post things and then delete them. It's all going to be on the internet forever. Right now, I've never experienced that yet. Hope that never happens. But I guess it's to just apologize about what you did wrong and realize that, yeah, you also are human and you make mistakes. And that art is subjective. It didn't mean that to me, it meant that for you. So I apologize for making you feel this way. I have had friends who I feel like they avoid me because they think that they're not up to par with what I do. And it's not that. Everyone grows as an artist in different ways. I grow as an artist when I share stuff online. They grow as an artist when they're low-key. So there's this time I caught myself. So I'd film my day around school or around my workplace, and then I'd edit it at home. And then I realized I was filming a voiceover over and over again. I filmed it like 20 times because I didn't like the sound of my voice. I was like, okay, that's enough TikTok for today. So, yeah.
Me personally, especially in the music industry, it's insanely competitive. Like, this goes the same for every other art medium out there. It's insanely competitive. But the way I see it, I feel like my friends or like other people I see online is sort of like an inspiration rather than something I'd be competing it with. And it's like, oh, I see this random person online and she's so good and she has good songwriting. I would like kind of take a lot of inspiration from different other artists rather than trying to compare myself to them, because I feel like confidence and honestly, you only have yourself when it comes to putting out your music and your art outside the world. You kind of only have yourself to back up with, and it's your own confidence in order for you to get out there, in order for you to improve. So, yeah. It's not really avoidable for you to compare yourself from other people in the media, especially if it's someone that you're comparing yourself to someone who's been doing it for years, or have been doing it for a level of time, who's done professional research on it and studies or whatever. I feel like it's completely unavoidable to not compare yourself to others. And from the way I see it on TikTok, personally, I don't really get kind of comments that are like, oh, I'm comparing myself to you or something like that. I would get comments from time to time that, oh, I wish I could write as good as you. And I would always be the type of person to reply to a comment and be like, oh, if I can do it, you can do it also. And it's more all about like having a safer space for everyone to realize that what you can do is something that others can do as well. So it takes practice. Yeah, it's kind of hard, especially if you don't have people who are not as supportive in promoting your music out there. So personally, budgeting is one of the factors probably as to why some artists aren't blooming as much. Not a lot of people have the same opportunities that I have, which I'm grateful for, that I actually have these kinds of opportunities. For me, in terms of equipment, definitely there's a factor on that, especially if you want to get good quality of music out there and if you want people to listen to your songs actually. Definitely having good equipment, and that without being said, like music production is such a costly type of course to get, and getting the equipment, which I'm very grateful that I'm able to afford, even microphones from the music audio production, it's insanely hard, and not all people have that kind of don't have the money to actually have that opportunity. So yeah, it plays a big role in. Personally, me, before, I never had any sort of equipment. I was never really interested in the realm of music production. And so like I was literally just recording songs with my guitar, with my phone microphone, and it was there and people still listened. And I think that, in my opinion, without having good equipment, it's still feasible to do.
The structure of our economy promotes a mindset where we are driven to work, either for others or for monetary gain. While money is frequently equated with success, does wealth genuinely bring happiness? Or is there a better way to create a healthier environment that benefits not just the artist, but also the audience?
Yeah, just be kind, and kindness will come back to you. And just follow your heart. And if you're not stepping on anyone, if you're not belittling anyone, if you're just doing this to promote positivity, then just keep doing it. Just be kind.
Keep going and keep being passionate and doing what you love, because eventually it will fall through and people will listen if they want to listen. And it's just a matter of confidence and putting yourself out there to the right places.
Social media has paved the way for new beginnings, reaching unprecedented heights and allowing people to advance further than their perceived capabilities. Though this outlet became a mean to progress, certain instances may lead artists to digress from their authenticity. As art influencers navigate the complexity of content creation, they're not immune to the harassing power of the platform. The falsely portrayal of authentic art residing from one's own creative initiative may have become the result of subjugating to the highly deemable standards social media has imprinted on various individuals, may that be influencers or consumers. In this dance of influence, the creators are puppeteers and puppets, crafting not only their art, but also their own perceptions in the shifting landscape of social media. By revealing the diverse perspectives of various artists, we've gained a deeper insight into the experiences of both art creators and consumers. We've explored how social media can affect personal lives and relationships, disrupting mental well-being and daily routines, as well as how it can also serve as a form of catharsis. As we know, social media is an effective tool for communication. However, it can also be a weapon for amplifying unattainable standards and extremist ideologies. No matter the case, let's try to redefine success, not by the likes, comments, recognition, or monetary profit we receive, but by the depth of our sincerity, emotions, and connection our art evokes. Finally, reaching behind the canvas and seeing the artistic beauty of our own selves.